Is it difficult to balance? Is it a difficult balance to have a strong vocal ensemble and one violin, and can we explain how we work well together? This kind of links a little bit to my answer earlier on, but there is definitely an inherent challenge with balancing 8 voices against a single instrument. I think one of the things that helps us, going back to this idea of science, is the resonances that the violin makes. So the violin sound has a lot of high resonance in it, that kind of cutting resonance. So the sound of the violin carries very, very well. And this, when it comes to balancing, really helps us out. So VOCES8 can make a significant amount of noise, and just by bowing a little bit into the string, Rachel can create a kind of cutting resonance which helps her carry over the top of that. As I said earlier, we're also trying to incorporate the violin into a series of different roles, and we found that really interesting because as musicians we all choose to come to this style of music making because we are interested not necessarily just in the sounds of our own voices, although as singers we can't deny that we do have to like the sound of our own voice, but perhaps compared to solo singers, as chamber musicians, we have a sympathy for making music with other people. So we're very much focused on trying to understand how we can work with other musicians. And so having this violin as a 9th voice has been a very interesting part of that process for us. We've had some rehearsal time in London before we performed the first concerts of this particular collaboration, and a lot of that time was focused on how we can use the sonority of the violin, how the sonority of the violin can adapt to sound more like a human voice, and how the human voice at times can also go the other way and adapt to a more string-like texture. So it's been a wonderful thing to do, and I think one of the interesting things about our position in VOCES8 is that we are the same 8 singers all the time. So we work together full-time, 280 days a year we sing together, just with the same 8 people. And so having a 9th person come into the environment, to the rehearsal room, onto the concert platform, is very enriching and nourishing for us, because there are so many positives to being the same 8 people all the time. But one of the definite drawbacks is that it can become a little bit insular, and everything can take on a kind of house style, and you don't even need to talk about it, it just happens, and so then some of the discussion can go out of the rehearsal process. So having that 9th voice, especially a voice as experienced and as musical as Rachel, has been a real pleasure for us.